Hi guys, Chris here, and you're watching Here We Are Running, and today we're doing a shoe review of the Brooks Launch GTS 8. Here it is, and you can be forgiven if you thought, I've never heard of the Brooks Launch GTS 7 before, and the reason for that is there never was one. This is actually a replacement for the Ravina, which used to be the lighter weight stability running shoe in the Brooks range. Well, they've got rid of that shoe completely, and those clever marketing people at Brooks, they came up with the idea of, well, we'll take one of our neutral running shoes, a lighter weight neutral running shoe, called the Brooks Launch. We'll tag on the acronym GTS and we'll call it the Brooks Launch GTS 8. So GTS always used to be used with the Brooks Adrenaline, a very, very popular stability running shoe from Brooks. And when it was used with the Brooks Adrenaline, the GTS standard for go-to shoe. So they can't really call it a go-to shoe now because they've got this one, they've got the Adrenaline, and also they've done the same thing with the Glycerine. So they've got 3 shoes at least with the acronym GTS tagged onto them. So rather than it meaning the go-to shoe, it now means the go-to support. So there you go, a bit of marketeering there from Brooks. Anyway, this is it, Brooks Launch GTS 8. I've had it now for about 5 months. I've done a total distance of 100 miles in it, or 160 kilometers, using it on both the treadmill and my outdoor runs, and getting up to distances of around half marathon. In this review, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the features of the shoe, and then I'll go on and tell you about my actual thoughts having run in it for that length of time. So starting off with the features of the shoe, and when I review a stability running shoe, which I do a lot on the channel because I do overpronate and I therefore do run in stability running shoes, I always start with stability when we're talking about features. So how do Brooks provide stability in this particular shoe? Well, they do it in the same way that they provide stability in all of their stability running shoes, with the guide rails. So you've got the guide rails on both sides of the shoe, here and round here. And they are there just to design really to stop and prevent your foot rolling one way or the other way when you're landing. So if you overpronate, you would tend to roll in. Well, this is going to help prevent that. It's going to limit it at least. And that's what they do on all of their shoes. The guide rails is the way that Brooks provide that stability. So no difference really to how they've done it on all of their other shoes. One area of the shoe though that does differ from some of their other stability shoes is the foam that they've used in the midsole. They've used the same foam all the way through the midsole in this shoe. It's called the Biomogo DNA foam. Also to mention, 10mm heel to toe drop. It's got a nice comfortable upper to it, some breathability at the front section there, and the tongue. Yeah, it's a reasonably plush tongue, not as plush as some of them, but it is certainly a plush tongue. That's not going to cause a lot of discomfort or anything on the top of your foot. The laces are a kind of corded material, so I always find that that type of lace is really good for sort of staying tight, not going to get undone during the run at all. Around on the heel, as you'd expect, certainly in a stability running shoe, you've got an internal heel counter on this one, and a kind of raised lip there around where the heel is. On the outer, they've introduced more blown rubber into this shoe. Now, if you don't know what blown rubber is, it's where they kind of inject air into the rubber. It keeps it lighter, softer, and more flexible. So that's a bit about the feature of the shoe, but what have I felt about the shoe when I've been running in it? Well, firstly, I'll say this, and I say this about most Brooks shoes, is that the fit is really good. For me, lockdown good. Comfort levels when you put the shoe on your foot are really good. No problems at all in terms of sizing. For me, I'm a UK size 11, fits true to size, not a problem at all. The grip on the outsole, also good. Didn't have any slipping. Only have really run on the treadmill and on the pavements here, haven't kind of gone off-road at all. But on those conditions, yeah, no problems at all with the outsole grip. What I do feel though about a shoe like this is that what they've done is they've created a lighter weight shoe, and they say that is designed for more of your speed work. So I think you do lose a little, you compromise a little bit. If you want a lighter weight shoe, you're going to compromise a little bit on comfort. and that's what I feel about this shoe. So I said to you that I've done distances up to half marathon. I wouldn't take this above distances beyond half marathon. Now some people have and do and would, and perhaps would even run marathons in this shoe, and I'm sure there'll be some comments below for people saying that they've done that. For me though, if I was going to run a marathon in a kind of stability shoe like this is, I would go for perhaps the Adrenaline GTS, because that's built for more comfort. It's got a different type of midsole foam, and you do notice the difference between the Biomogo DNA foam that this shoe has and the DNA Loft foam that the Brooks Adrenaline GTS has, and I think I'm right in saying that the Glycerine, the GTS, also has that foam. That other foam, the DNA Loft, is a more cushioned foam, and that you don't get with this. So it is fine for the shorter distance runs, and you do save a reasonable amount of weight. For talking about weight, this shoe in my size, UK size 11, weighs 297 grams, or just under 10.5 ounces. That's 30 grams less than my Adrenaline. So, you know, you are saving in weight, but in doing so, I think you're losing a little bit of the comfort. But you might be prepared to lose a bit of that comfort if the shoe can help you to run faster. And it's certainly lighter weight, so on that side of things, it's got something going for it. But another thing that I like to have in a shoe that I'm going to run fast in is really good energy return. I didn't feel that I was getting huge amounts of energy return in this shoe. So yes, it is lighter, it's going to be lighter on your feet, and that should help to allow you to run faster. And I certainly have run fast in this shoe. I haven't really tried to run really fast in it outdoors, but on the treadmill, I've done under 19.5 minutes for a 5k treadmill run in this shoe, which is equivalent to what I can run, or what I did run in the Nike Next Percent 2s on an outdoor 5k run. So you can certainly run faster in this shoe, but it just doesn't feel to me like you get huge amounts of energy return in it. But having said all of that, you know, I still like this shoe. I'll still be using this shoe. I'll tend to use it for, I think, kind of some of my speed work sessions when I'm doing marathon training particularly. So I was thinking probably it would work best in sort of tempo type runs. Intervals maybe as well. I'm not saying I wouldn't use it for that, but I do have some other shoes that I think I might prefer to use for interval training. Certainly the tempo runs though, that this could come into its own for that. And the reason why I'm not being too hard on it about the energy return and everything is the price. This shoe is priced at £100 or $100. And I think that that is a really good price for a shoe like this. You know, that there are more expensive shoes that I'm sure are going to give you that more energy return and be perhaps a little bit lighter than this. But for that sort of price mark, this is a pretty good shoe. Well, there you go, guys, my review of the Brooks Launch GTS 8. Now, if you've run in this shoe, if you own it, then why not drop a comment below? Let me know, let everyone else that's watching the video know what you thought of it. That's always really good to get a wider range of opinions than just my one. But guys, I hope you had gained some value from the review and that you enjoyed watching the video. If you have, of course, please do hit the thumbs up button to give the video a like. And if you're new around here, well, why not consider subscribing as well, because we have regular running content on this channel. But for now, guys, goodbye.